Happy Earth Day, everybody. I'm excited to talk to everybody today. I'm really curious how everyone is celebrating this super important holiday, which, by the way, Earth Day, for those of you that are around my age, I'm 49. A lot of us will remember that Earth Day was celebrated in the 70s by not that many people. People kind of thought it was a little weird. And it that's what's so incredible, and that's what is beautiful about today, is that we now have a new understanding and we are redefining our relationship to nature. So that actually reminds me, I want to start off with just a quick quote. Here we go. Oh, and it says, humans are a part of nature, not apart from nature. And that is important to remember because, like I said, we have redefined our relationship to nature over the last 30 years. Whereas, the idea of Earth Day and the idea of celebrating Earth and the land and our resources, the idea of understanding that they are our resources, not the resources of other companies and not the resources that are meant to be exploited for profit for the few, but resources that we've had ever since we've been around on this earth, and we have used from medicine, from natural medicines to natural foods. Everything that we ever need is right here on earth, and it's incredible, and it is a beautiful thing that we're celebrating that today. So I'm curious. I'd love to get some comments, and let's see, who do we have here today? Hey, it's Baldy. Baldy, hey, good to see you here, man. I'll be back in Florida again soon. Look forward to catching up with you when I'm down there. Hey, Sherry, Rights of Nature, fantastic. And that is a beautiful thing to actually think about and to contemplate on this Earth Day. We remember how shocked everybody was when corporations got personhood legally with Citizens United. Now, that means that if you upset a corporation, they can sue you for a multitude of things that they did not have access to sue you for before they passed Citizens United. Now, what we see is Rights of Nature movement. What they're trying to do is give nature legal rights and to give communities that live in that nature legal rights to protect the nature from development, toxicity, pollution, and a lot of other issues that a lot of people are fighting right now. So Rights of Nature is fantastic. I highly recommend. Check it out. It's an amazing platform. It's an innovative idea, and it works. A lot of us are activists, so we don't think in legal terms very often, right? But that's what I love about the Rights of Nature movement. It is taking a new approach. It's going somewhere. It's going somewhere where we don't usually go, us activists. And again, that comes back to Earth Day 30 years ago, because back then you didn't have people in the same professions in law and in other areas that were alerted to what's happening in the environment. We didn't even know what was happening in the environment. A lot of this information that we're considering information that we've always had is pretty new. It's only really within the last maybe 10, 15, 20 years that we've gained an extensive understanding of how depleted and how damaged all of our nature is and how we have to fight for it. We can't just live in it. We can't just enjoy it. We have to fight for it. And the beautiful thing is we now have people in areas where we never had activists before. We have lawyers that are now activists, and they're going out there and they are defending nature, rights of nature. They're also going in, I don't know if you guys were able to follow Thacker Pass and my friends Max and Will, the lawyers that are challenging the way business is done because it's a rigged game. And right now, we're not on the winning side of it. We're not, and nature isn't. And that's what we're all fighting to come back to. Sherry, yeah, absolutely. New paradigm shift, said perfectly. Hey, Paula, I hope you're having a wonderful Earth Day today. Hey, Carl, let's see, what do we got here? Carl's got some information for us on the Florida Rights of Nature Network and Florida's Right to Clean Water. Fantastic. Look at that petition today. It's Earth Day. What better day to go check out what's happening? There are a lot of amazing programs. There is Rights to Nature. There's Florida's Right to Clean Water. There's a group that's fighting right now for clean water in Florida called Mosaic, and it's a Facebook group. So please, if you haven't checked them out, go check them out because they are battling phosphate giant Mosaic in an effort to stop them from expanding and continuing their poisoning of all the local communities around the area. By the way, before we get too much further, I want everybody to know that I'm not allowed to be on Facebook. So, but you know, that's one thing you learn as an activist is that when somebody says no, you just have to find another way to get the information out there. And I think a lot of us probably have all faced this before. Oh, sorry, let me get my camera straight. So I'm not supposed to be on Facebook, but I found a way around it, and here we go. Happy Earth Day. You know, Facebook tries to quiet us. Mosaic tried to quiet us. A lot of companies try to quiet us, but you know what? They can't. There's too many of us. And there's a really important quote from Peter Tosh, and he says that, you know, you cannot stop the truth because it is transmitted from person to person. And that is absolutely true. So no matter what form of media is being blocked or stopped, if you are talking to people, we learn from each other, we grow from each other, and that is how we change the world. So remember, the truth can never be stopped. What we do can never be stopped. And when I feel very lucky, you know, in 2017, my life took a very drastic kind of turn. And excuse me, ever since then, I've had the great honor of getting to travel the world and meet some of the most amazing activists. And I want to put this out here right now because I see a lot of my friends from Florida are here. Florida has a lot of issues that they are battling, but Florida has the most passionate activists. I'm telling you, every time I'm in Florida working on a project or even just going down for a screening or to go to, recently I was down to the Water Festival, the most inspiring, innovative, caring, compassionate, intelligent conversation about how we can change the environment I've had from activists and just residents in Florida. And you know what? Most residents in Florida are activists because they've seen their families, friends, and neighbors get sick and they're scared. They don't want their families to also get sick. So it's a major issue. And it's not just an issue that affects Florida. It's not an issue that affects one town. It's not an issue that affects one particular industry. We're talking about a nationwide way of doing business where corporations are permitted to put their factories in communities they think are not going to be able to fight back and pour their toxins and their pollutants into the local water supply. And we've seen it in Florida, we've seen it in Louisiana, we've seen it in Massachusetts, we all know about Flint, we've seen it in California. We all know Aaron Brockovich. We have seen this over and over and over. It is not a new story, it's a way of doing business. And until we can change the way business is done, business is not going to change the way it's done. So we really have this on us. And the problem that's always the most difficult, and I talk to activists about this all the time, how do we talk to companies, right? Like what do we do? Well, we have to remember companies don't speak emotion. It's not their job. They are legal entities. They have shareholders. They have investors. Their job at the end of the day is to return a good investment to their shareholders. And that's all companies do. We have the power to change what companies do by not buying things that offend our sensibilities. You know, we don't need this new thing that's made out of a rare tree. You know, we don't need ivory. We don't need a lot of these things. And if we stop buying it, the companies will stop making it because all they care about is making some money. And that, which is fine. As long as we learn how to speak their language, we can control conversations. So I think about that a lot on days like today, especially Earth Day. Hey, Nicole, thanks for being on today. It's good to see you here. Hopefully, I want to know how you're celebrating Earth Day today. Nicole has been really an essential person in working with us for the Harambe documentary. And she's also a wildlife conservationist student and somebody that you're going to be seeing a lot of amazing things from over the years, and somebody that I know spends a lot of her time focused on trying to think, how can we get nature back to nature? And again, that's, you know, on Earth Day, it's the perfect time to bring it up. You know, growing up, Earth Day was not really celebrated that much, and it was kind of a fringe thing. as time has gone on and we have learned that our resources are disappearing, the resources are disappearing. You know, you can check out any of them if you want. Think about, you know, if you eat fish, there's fisheries. Almost every fishery has collapsed around the world. Now countries go into other countries to steal their fish. It's crazy. And if they don't do that, then there's a massive issue with fish fraud. And for my friends that do eat fish, if you don't know, they tested in America and found over 60% of the fish that was served was mislabeled. Now, why does that even matter? It matters because there's warm water and cold water fish. And our bodies are not designed to handle certain toxins, especially from tropical fish. And if a chef is given a piece of fish that they think is a cold water fish and they prepare it like a cold water fish instead of a warm water fish, it can lead to not only neurological issues, but neurotoxin issues. And we have seen death. So, you know, it's not our job to start mixing up nature and putting it where we need it that's convenient for us so that we have a wonderful moment of nature. You know, our job now is to figure out how to save future generations. Animals, people, trees, flowers, everything. That's where we are. You know, recently at the Water is Life Festival, I got to meet an amazing author, and I was speaking to her, and you know, I said, well, we've got at least what 10, 20 years left. A lot of the scientists predict before we start to lose all of our biodiversity, and the whole thing starts shutting down. And a lot of the people in the industry and a lot of people in the activism world now are being told by scientists that it might be closer to 5 to 15 years. But I'm not saying that to be negative or to frighten anybody. I'm saying what an amazing time to be alive. You can change the entire course of the future for our planet, our families, and every creature, every inhabitant here on Earth. And, you know, maybe in 20 years, it won't matter. Maybe things will collapse. But if that is where we're headed, we have to spend every day of the next 20 years fighting as hard as we can. Because if that really is where we are, right now is the only time we have to change it. And you, me, all of us that are always on our videos, in our conservation conversations, everybody I always talk to all the time, there's so much concern over this, and everybody's saying the same thing, and that is, we are lucky. You know, we're not unlucky. We can't see it in a negative light. We're lucky. We're lucky to be here, to have the power to stand up when it's necessary to save this world that we love. We even celebrate Earth Day internationally. You know, so there's a lot. There's a lot we can do. Now, how do you participate? If you're not sure how to participate, there are NGOs. Now, NGOs can be difficult. There are good, proven NGOs. There are NGOs that provide temporary solutions that may have longer lasting detriments to the environment than the solution that they propose. So when you're curious about how you want to help, if you have a question, you can contact me. I'll tell you about the NGO. We can do some research for you and help you find and make sure that what you're doing, your benefit, how you're helping, you know, and everyone plays a part. Whether you can donate some money, whether you're out in the field, fighting in the field, whether you're online sharing posts, which educates and creates awareness, especially here on Facebook. Everybody share this, please, because they've banned me from doing regular posts and any kind of reaction. So if anybody feels ignored on Facebook, I apologize. It's not me. But yeah, please share this on my Facebook. Know that you can't stop an activist. Yeah, you can't stop an environmentalist. You know, we are always going to fight for what we believe in, and because it's bigger than us. It's about everything around me. It's about everything around you. It's about everything before you, after you, and you know, the majority of the activists I meet know that. And so, and Facebook knows that. And I know a lot of my activist friends get stopped by Facebook also. So it's not all that crazy of a thing. It happens all too often, unfortunately. Baldy said, celebrated first while at Ohio State University with a fairly large crowd that read Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. Wow, great book. That must have been an amazing experience. That must have been incredible. I love that book. Anybody that has not read Silent Spring by Rachel Carson, think of that as your Earth Day homework. It's fantastic stuff. Hey, we have Randall on today. Hey, Randall. Hey, from Costa Rica. Randall works tirelessly to protect sharks in Costa Rica. And I had the great fortune of going shark diving with Randall out on the shark boat a while back. And I know he is always busy down there. I was trying to connect with him when I was in Costa Rica last time, but he was in the Cocos Islands. He spends a lot of time defending the biodiversity, the shark population itself, and the Cocos Islands. So Randall's always been one of my eco heroes. So it's an honor to have you on today, man. Hope you guys are having a great Earth Day and you're celebrating and staying safe and having a great time down there. Let's see. Sherry says, dilution is not the solution for pollution. Absolutely. You know, I'm glad you bring that up, Sherry, because a lot of companies, not just Mosaic, try to say that and say, you know, the best thing we can do is dump it in the water and eventually it'll be fine. No, that's like the scientific, you know, knowledge from 400 or 500 years ago. And being as how we haven't kept any other medical knowledge from that time, you know, we've all advanced forward. We have to remember that everything these polluters tell us, because most of them are self-regulated. And, you know, I just recently got into a debate with somebody about this. Somehow they don't understand that best management practices is self-regulated. So the polluters are just judging themselves. We can't do that. And they're telling us stuff like dilution is the solution for pollution. Well, absolutely 100% opposite. Sherry, I'm glad you brought that up. Carl, yeah, man, Carl, it's always great to have you here on the project. Actually, everybody, I got a great announcement. Phosphate, which is a story that a lot of people had an issue getting told through companies, through media companies, news, press, wouldn't touch Mosaic. Well, you know, Phosphate, we did that. And not only do we do that, but we're now on Tubi. Tubi is a free streaming platform. Tell everybody you know. I probably shouldn't be saying this because, you know, it would be nice to get some sales. But if you need, go to Tubi. Tubi, it is free. Phosphate streaming there. Go check it out. All of your friends that don't want to talk about Mosaic, don't want to talk about water poisoning, send them the link from Tubi and they can watch the movie for free. So now is, you know, we had our core audience. We had everybody. We had the biggest wave of support from everybody in Florida. And now is our opportunity for everybody that saw the movie to share the movie. And again, I'm not saying that because I want sales. Tubi, I don't make any money on them. So share it, get it out there. It's not a movie where I talk about a bunch of stuff. It's a movie where we highlight the stories of local activists that are fighting Mosaic and fighting rising cancer rates. And if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's a very important movie to me. And Carl, the reason I bring this up, Carl, is because when I went to check it on Tubi today, you're the image that they've used for the movie. So yeah, so when you guys go on Tubi, you'll see Carl there. And Carl spent a lot of time with me when I was in Florida helping understand more of the connections between Red Tide, the state's financial issues, and Mosaic and their mining issues. Sherry says, yes, some things never change. There we go. Absolutely. And Sherry says, nature, we're part of it, but so far apart. We need to close the gap. You know what? A day like today is a beautiful day to do that. I hope everybody's out celebrating. Have a wonderful Earth Day. Be outside if you can. It's beautiful out. Of course, you guys can see up here. Beautiful, beautiful weather. So perfect day. Just had a wonderful green juice. Just juiced up some fantastic all earth elements. All earth elements. So, you know, thank you, Earth. Thank you, everybody. Always great to have so many amazing friends and to get to be involved in, to me, something that's very important. And I appreciate everybody, you know, really staying together And we can do this. We can do this, everybody. I know it. So have a wonderful Earth Day. Share it. Baldy says sharing phosphate with Captain Seaweed. Ah, Captain Seaweed. Captain Seaweed was awesome. I remember that. That was a great show. And Captain Seaweed worked a lot to try to educate children because that's the key. You know, an adult working at Mosaic, they're not going to change. They're too involved. They got too much stuff going on. They have too many responsibilities. Kids, if we can implant more seed of knowledge that they need the earth, that's all. Just that they need the earth, they'll figure out their own way to take care of it in upcoming years. Happy Earth Day. Can't wait to see everybody again soon. Hopefully doing a conservation conversation this Sunday. So we'll be putting the ad out for that. Happy Earth Day. Enjoy. Talk to you soon.